Everyone, how's it going? It's Matt here from SOE Expeditions, currently over on the west coast of Scotland with the Isle of Arran in the background there. And sorry I couldn't make the workshop over these next few days. I've fortunately had a compassionate case and yeah, I just couldn't make it, so apologies about that. I'd love to have been there and had the opportunity to meet you all. I wanted to make a short video about SOE Expeditions and what we do, and it's a bit of an intro. Myself, I'm a local lad from here in Ayrshire, and I served just over 20 years in the military. Served with a lot of specialist units, and during that time I was fortunate enough to run expeditions that allowed me to meet some of the real SOE and Special Forces operators who were alive 80 years ago, and that gave me the enthusiasm, I suppose, to continue and carrying on telling their story when I left the military. My first trip to Norway was back in 2008, where I met Joachim Ronenberg and Klaus Helberg, and they were original members of the SOE Operation Gunnerside team who took out the heavy water factory in Vermont, and that was really inspirational, and I pretty much have been doing that every year since. Once I left the military, I formed SOE Expeditions, and SOE Expeditions deliver World War II Special Forces, SOE, SAS, SBS, small scale raiding force, telling the story of what the men and the women of SOE got up to. And it's really about following their footsteps and doing as much as you can in terms of either skiing over the mountains or walking over the mountains or going through the desert or through the jungle or whatever it is they've done. It's important the story's got a start, a middle and an end, and allows us to retrace what they've done. Some of the experiences are a little bit harder than others. For instance, Norway is obviously quite cheeky, as we like to say in the military. It involves ski touring over the Hardangervidda, which is Norway's highest plateau, and you're out there in the mountains for about 4 or 5 days, and you're actually living in the huts and sleeping in the huts that some of the original saboteurs they slept in, so that's quite cool. And then obviously you get to experience going to the Vermont Heavy Water Factory, which is a museum, and it's just really nice following in their tracks and meeting the people and hearing some of the stories of what they got up to when they were in that area. That was our kind of first year. We then introduced Crete and the kidnapping of General Kraupe, and following in his footsteps across Crete, and that's quite a hard one as well. We rate our trips from about 1 to 5 in terms of how arduous they are. So 5 is pretty hardcore, and 1 is pretty easy. So there are experiences that we've now introduced that are a little bit easier, because obviously not everyone can participate. So we want to make it accessible for as many people as we can, and we're changing the model where we'll have accessible weekends, and potentially if you go to Norway you're in snowshoes. If you can't ski, you can just walk, and we can have experiences in Scotland, weekend experiences, so you don't have to do a full week. And yeah, just giving people a real flavour of where it all began, how it started, and what these men and women got up to. So from Norway we introduced Crete, and then last year we introduced Operation Bill Basket in France, and then we went on to North Africa, and we introduced Scotland as well, where it all began here on the west coast. Back in the day, you had 6 commando independent companies. You had 3 over in Isle of Arran, and they would go over up and down Goat Fell there. That's the highest mountain in the background there. You had 3 commando companies over there, and you had 3 commando companies on the mainland here. You had 1 in Largs, 1 in Troon, and 1 up in Maybole. You also had 1 SAS, 2 SAS, and the Belgian SAS training here. And these are stories that are really unheard of. A lot of people don't know that back in the early days these guys trained around about and in this area. So our new Scotland Elite Raiders course is it's a 7-day, it's not really a course, it's an experience, but it allows you to come to Scotland. You'll land in Glasgow, come down here to Ayrshire, and learn the history of the Commando and the SAS and look at the places they trained. We'll go over to the Isle of Arran. If you want, you can go up Goat Fell, up the mountain there where they used to go up and train. There's a historical museum. It's a beautiful island. Interestingly enough, that building just behind me here, I don't know if you can see that, that's Seafield School, and that was the SBS, the Special Boat Section at the time. That was their headquarters. And then over in Arran you had where the actual they started to train as well, over the north end of the island, just up here. So lots and lots of history just in this area alone, and even people who live here don't even know that this history's here. So from here we'll go over to Arran, and then we'll head up to Argyll where they used to train for the D-Day landings, and there's a lot of Americans over there at the time. And then we'll head up to Achnacarry and Araseg, where we'll look at where they actually formed the commandos properly, the army commandos. They started giving them consolidated training, and that's where they got their coveted Green Beret. We'll look at where all the SOE trained, and then we'll go over to Knoydart, and we'll look at some of the lodges over in Knoydart, which is a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. It's only accessible by boat, and there was a lot of the SOE female agents they trained over there out the way. From there we'll go over to the Cairngorms, over to the east side, and we'll look at Company Lingya and where the Norwegians trained. And we'll also look at some of the museums, and we've got Kate Viggers, and we've got Paul MacDonald, so historians and armourers and people to really kind of give more of an introduction with the equipment and the skills they used and what they got up to. And then from there we'll have a chat about all the different operations they went on, and give you the opportunity to go on them if you like. So what else? Yeah, it's a really exciting time. We continue to add more experiences to our repertoire. Next this year we've got Malaya with Freddie Spencer Chapman, through the jungle. He was in the jungle for 3 years and then he escaped, and we're going to do the Freddie Spencer Chapman Challenge. We've also got Sicily with Paddy Mayne. We've got the Isle of Leros and the attack on Leros, and what the guys got up to then and how they managed to get off the island. And we've also got one of the escape routes down in the Pyrenees, and the Scottish Elite Raiders course in Scotland we're adding on a couple of days. Like I mentioned at the start, we're also going to be doing some easy weekends. So if you want to come to Scotland and do a weekend as opposed to a full week, we're going to look at that. We're also going to introduce London, where the SOE all train down in London. And then we're potentially going to mix it up and add a bit of London, a bit of Scotland, and maybe introduce a 10-day course. So lots going on, really exciting time. I'm stood here holding this phone and my hand is absolutely freezing, it's about to fall off. But it's worth it to share this with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the workshop. I hope that was of interest to you, and I hope you got something from it. I would love to meet some of you in the future. If you want to reach out and drop us an email, just go through the website soeexpeditions.com, and yeah, I'll send a little video as well. Hopefully you can get to see that. It's only about a minute long. It's mainly on Norway, and we've got a YouTube channel and all the good social media and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the trip, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers guys, have a good one. Thanks, bye bye.